is John Paul Rye. I'm coming from Tokyo, Japan, and I'm making this video at about 11 a.m. here, and by the time I upload it at 11 at night here, this information will have changed just a little bit. So this is really a video on Rotten Tomatoes' initial reaction to Batwoman. The internet moves fast, and the current score now is 71% for critics and 15% for audience. And what I want to say is also, a lot of people are saying Rotten Tomatoes is unreliable, they're trash, but it seems to me they're half trash. Because if they were really trash and they were really shilling, they would have a fake audience score. You'd see like 70-70 or 80-75 or something like that. So I gotta be honest, at least they're putting up the actual audience score. And that counts for something, right? So 15% is about what I would guess it should be. It's a very bland, unenjoyable, cringy, feminist show, but there are people out there who don't give a shit about that and just want to see it, and there are people who like that kind of thing. So there's your 15%. But of course the critics just don't care about anything except writing a good write-up and hoping that the CW sees it and Warner Brothers sees it or something like that. So anyway, let's take a look at what Joel Keller from The Decider writes. "We like seeing Rose kicking butt in and out of her bat suit, and it feels like, as we dive into Kate's story a bit more, the show will get some depth." I will say, the plot was not the worst. She had training, she seems to fit the role of someone who can fight, and I will give it that. I will not give this a 100% negative. It's a 100% negative on the tone, the messages, the things like that. I get that, there are trashy elements, but at least I think the character kind of fit the role for the physical end, you could say. Obviously, I hated the fact that Batman's gone, he doesn't care. Well, we'll find out about that, but, you know, for now, let's take it at face value. I didn't like that, but she was kind of a tough military person, which kind of works for what they're going for. So Josh Wilding of comicbookmovie.com, who I often cover, not him personally, but the website, "Batwoman may need to up the ante in terms of action, but a combination of some compelling mysteries and a great performance from Ruby Rose ensures you'll want to keep coming back to what appears to be one of the fall's best new TV shows." Best new TV shows. Remember that. Next time you see comicbookmovie.com, if you do, remember that's how Josh, one of the writers, feels about Batwoman. One of the best new TV shows, period. Great review, Josh. Meryl Barr from Forbes, the magazine which employs one of the biggest media shows in the industry right now, Scott Mendelson, says, "Batwoman is a solid entrant into the Arrowverse universe and will likely make quick work of finding an audience on the network that has hosted the best live-action DC content for the better part of the 2010s. Great review, Meryl. Great comment, rather. Then Glenn Garvin gives it a unfresh. "Batwoman's teeming writer's room is spectacularly inept and exposition on practically anything else. Everything in Batwoman, the plots, the dialogue, the characterizations is very comic booky in the worst sense of the term." So he's saying it feels like a comic book, which it does. I found some of the set props and things to be cheap, which bothered me. But yeah, okay, I don't think feeling like a comic book is the worst part about it, but I know what he means. It's a little bit too much like a comic book, maybe a little stiff, not quite like a human drama. And The Hollywood Reporter says, "It's easy enough to watch that I'll stick around to see if it blossoms into something more." Okay, so that's not actually saying anything. He's saying, I guess I'll keep watching. Not sure why. Let's see what the guy from Newsday says. His name is Vern Gay. And he says, "The best part of the new series is that unfussy, effortless way of getting Kate's sexual orientation out of the way, and also Kate herself." So for me, the sexual orientation doesn't really bother me, but I would rather have it more subtle, just to be honest. I mean, yeah, it's tricky, man, because if they show straight people kissing, then people could be like, well, you don't mind that. But then if they show gay people kissing, people are like, well, you're bashing on that, now you're a homophobe. I mean, the thing is, it's never a part of a movie where I say, look, two straight people kissing, so haha, look at that. You know, I don't make it a point ever to say how I feel about a certain film because of the romantic angle it takes. It's just something that's there. It's character building. So having it in your face for me is more of a negative. It wouldn't bother me if the show was good. This all goes back to The Last Jedi again. If the movie was good, a lot of the things wouldn't bother me. But the movie was bad on top of the things that bothered me. So here we have this lesbian theme being pushed on our face, but on top of it the show's bad. The problem is, if the show wasn't bad, then that would be cool. But it is bad. And they have other feminist messages in it, so it makes you wonder, it makes you cringe when you see it a little bit more. It's not bad in isolation, though. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with lesbian love. And a lot of guys actually like that. Okay, so let's get into a couple of the user or audience comments. Abzar Z says, honestly, a waste of time. Elliot K says, terrible show, terrible lead, terrible idea. GW says, it's sad how out of touch the show is compared to the actual fan base. Then let me read one last one. When you see such a disparity between critics' reviews and audience reviews, as with this title, it becomes obvious that these professionals are absolutely clueless. The plot for the show is just horrendous. I felt like I was watching a children's cartoon, forced acting, uninteresting characters, and a boring story, a far cry from what DC fans are looking for. This will not be renewed for a second season. Good question. Will it be a second season show? I don't know. Maybe it will. It's like the cringe is there, the attention's there. All of us guys, hate to say it, making videos, writing articles, keep it relevant. And I can't help myself. When I see something this cringy, this trashy, this weird, this out there as far as an oddity, I gotta talk about it. That's just in my nature. So for better or for worse, I'll be covering Batwoman. And it's pretty fun. I mean, I'm looking forward to episode 2, and I think it's going to get funnier and funnier as she gets in the bat suit, the tattoo parlor, all those lines start coming out. We'll see what happens. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think of this down below. I'm doing shoutouts, special thanks, things like that. Smash the subscribe button, especially if you're still listening up to this point. Why not? I'm doing face cam vids, doing slideshows, whatever I could get done, throwing content up there, and I will see you next time.
If you are not subscribed to this channel, The Entertainment Hacker, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button now.